So, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here. And today, guys, I'm with T-Sauce himself. You guys probably already seen T-Sauce on the channel a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
With their Necross deck?
BLS Necross.
BLS Necross, but this time you...
I went X3 in day 2 YCS in Niagara with Noble Knights.
So 7-3.
Yeah, 7-3.
With Noble Knights.
Yeah, but I was like X1 to like round 7 or round 8, and then made it to day 2, and then just scrubbed from there, bro. But you know what?
It's Noble Knights.
Yeah, it's got a surprise factor, bro.
Okay, how's the new support?
It's amazing. The rota is actually ridiculous. Yeah, so obviously the deck profile, the deck has to run 3 Madrats. It's standard. He's basically the tour guide of the deck. If you control no other monsters and he's equipped with a Noble Arms, you can special summon a Noble Knight from your deck. Another thing a lot of people kept forgetting was that if I normal summon him, he's a normal light monster on the field. So you can't Valor and Permanence him when you summon him until you equip him with the Noble Arms.
Right.
So that's one of the good things about him. The other 3 of I play are 3 Noble Knight brothers. He's literally the pot of avarice of the deck. So if I normal summon him, I can special summon up to 2 Noble Knight from my hand. But for the rest of the turn, I can only summon Noble Knight monsters for the rest of the turn.
Yeah, but you have a Zold and stuff, so Noble Knight.
Exactly. But the thing about his recycling effect is it's not once per turn. So if I summon multiple copies, or if I just shuffle back any 3 Noble Knight or Noble Arms card in my deck and draw 3. I played 2 of the Noble Knight Customized. I was running 3 earlier, but with the new Rhoda, I feel like he's only good at 2 because at times he can brick. He's basically another extra special summon if you have a Noble Arms equipped spell card. And if I use him as a Link material, XYZ material, or a Synchro material for a Noble Knight monster, he gives you a double summon for another Noble Knight. And for the rest of the turn, you can't special summon except Noble Knight. And there's a way you can chain block him if I use him for Isolde or the XYZ monster, and I'll show it to you later on.
Nice.
This is a one of. I was thinking of running 2, but I feel like resolving him once is more than enough. So basically, he's the same as Midrad. He's a normal light monster when you summon him, level 4. When he gets equipped with a Noble Arms, he becomes an effect monster. His level goes up by 1, and he becomes Dark Attribute. And his effect is basically Power Tool Dragon, but you show 3 and the other 2 go to the grave. And he can show any 3 Noble Arms cards. It doesn't have to be the equipped spells cards. And the Trap card is a Noble Arms card, so you can just show that, and you just go from there. I only played 1 of him, the Noble Knight Ivan, because he's another starter if I don't open Midrad. Basically, if I equip him with a Noble Arms equip, I get a Noble Knight token, and I can only special summon Noble Knight monsters for the rest of the turn. He's just another way to go into Isolde, that's all it is. And the other effect is, he gives all Noble Knights 500 attack if he's equipped to a Noble Arms. This is another good one of, Noble Knight Dristan. He's more of a control variant because he just helps you with the grind game. If I control another monster on the field, other Noble Knight monsters can be targeted for attacks or with card effects that are under 1500 attack. And if I equip him with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, he has to target a face-up card on the field and destroy it, and that's mandatory. So he goes well with a hand trap because if he's equipped to an equipped spell, or if you have him on the board and you have another equip and you use the hand trap destroys an equipped spell and they can re-equip to any Noble Knight monster. So if you use the hand trap, you destroy the equipped spell, re-equip to him, he'll just pop a face-up card afterwards.
Wow, pretty good.
I played 2 Noble Knight Gawain. He's basically another version of Customized. So it says if you control a normal light monster, you can special summon from your hand, not once per turn. So it synergizes with Midrat, Boars, and sometimes the token for the Noble Knight Ivan that you get. I played 1 of Noble Knight Pelennor. He's also another version of Dristan where he basically pops a face-up monster that my opponent controls to draw a card. But he also has to destroy a Noble Arms, but they all re-equip. So it has to be equipped with the Noble Arms to use the effect. He's a one of, and he's just there for another target for the trap. I was debating on cutting him completely, but then I realized if I summon sorcerers and I do the whole combo, I do need a level 5 in the deck. And the other reason I like him, because sometimes I can just tribute him off or tribute a Noble Knight monster off to search any Noble Arms card.
Right.
And I can also special summon from the hand or graveyard if I send a normal light face-up monster I control. So sometimes he can come in clutch. This guy is ridiculous. He's basically the Dragon Ruler version of the Noble Knight. So if I have him in hand or in the graveyard, I can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters to special summon him back.
Pretty good.
And his other effect is basically like Super Poly. So if I use him as a Synchro material or an XYZ material for a Noble Knight XYZ or Synchro monster, the summon can't be negated, and my opponent can't respond to the summon with any cards or effects.
It's pretty good, so they can't warning it.
They can't warning it, they can't torrential, they can't bottomless, they can't even Valor the effect of the monster I summon. And now I played 3 of the new hand traps.
So what is the good one? Is it good?
It's good. It's good. The only thing I hate about it is that it's not searchable. But then again, not a single hand trap is searchable.
Right.
Because it's a level 3 and spellcaster. Unless people run Sangan or something like that. But like, it's a level 3 spellcaster. Basically, its effect is when my opponent activates a card effect, anytime, even in the damage step, because it negates the activation. Anytime my opponent activates a card or an effect of a card, I send this card from my hand to the graveyard. And I have to control a Noble Knight with a Noble Arms. So I destroy the Noble Arms, and it just negates the activation. So basically, it stops any hand traps. Ash Blossom, Veiler, it stops Evenly Matched. Literally stops everything.
Pretty good.
It is a little situational at times, but it does come up every now and then. And obviously, the other three hand traps I play are Ash Blossoms. And then the other monster I play is Guinevere. Basically, she's the Noble Arms that you can send with Boars when you use Boars effect. She can equip from hand or to the grave, which is good because it outs Natria Beast. It outs Borlo Dragon because it doesn't target. And whatever Noble Knight she's equipped to gives it the bonus effect. So if she's equipped to a light Noble Knight, they gain destruction immunity. So if they would be destroyed by a card effect, I just destroy her and it protects them. But the best effect is when she's equipped to a Dark Noble Knight, she becomes a Catastrophe. So I attack a monster at the start of damage step, I destroy the attacking monster and I destroy her. And since Midrad and Boars become dark when they're equipped to her, it basically, you know, one card out to Borload.
Nice.
I play one of each of the Noble Arms except for Excalibur and Destiny, so I play one of each of these guys for Isolde targets. And then I play 2 Destiny and 2 Excalibur, and I'll explain.
These are the best ones, right?
Yeah, these are the best ones. Basically, all the Noble Arms have a restriction where I can control one of them. Excalibur is the only exception because this one doesn't re-equip. But every single one of them re-equip. This one, I'm pretty sure Goki players are familiar with. This one pops a face down card, and the monster loses 500 attack. This one gives my any warrior monster 1,000 attack. So if I wanted to, I could play Dark Lord BLS. The only time it would re-equip is if I have a Noble Knight monster. This one gives it a 500 attack boost, and I gain 500 life points, which is really, really good in time, and also against Trickscars, because they can't burn me. This one lets me attack directly by paying 500 life points. That's literally it, and it's good in time. This one prevents it just prevents it from, it gets targeting protection blankets, so yeah. And this one prevents it from being destroyed by battle or card effects once per turn, so whichever one happens first, it'll protect it because it's mandatory. The other thing I want to point out about this card is that it has a graveyard effect, so if it wasn't sent there the same turn it was in the graveyard, I can banish it, and I can XYZ another Noble Knight monster with a different name from the one that I have.
Nice.
And now I'm gonna get to the best card that the new for the new support, and it's the Heritage.
Oh, good.
There were times where my opponent flipped Mistake on me, and I had targets in the grave I can choose from. So if they flip Mistake on me, or they Thunder King me, or Colossus me, I can just add from the graveyard. It doesn't have to be from the deck.
Right.
It's the graveyard effect where if a Noble Knight I control with the Noble Arms was destroyed by battle, and it's in the graveyard, I can add it back. And then obviously the one Rhoda, Reinforcement of the Army, one Monster Reborn. This is also a Saki card because it's sort of like the Bujin Carnation for the deck. If my opponent controls a monster and I control no monsters, I try one Noble Knight monster in my graveyard and one Noble Arms equip, special the Noble Knight back, and equip it with it. So it's basically I get my draw back and I just start my combos all over again. And then I play 2 Call by the Graves for, stopping hand traps. And then the other best card, until Noble Arms are near once again, it's the other card you show with Boars. The first effect, the on-field effect, is not once per turn.
What does it do? What does it do?
It's like Pot of Duality. So you flip it, and you excavate cards equal to the number of Noble Arms equipped spell cards you control. So if you have 3 Noble Arms, you show 3. If you have 4, you show 4. And out of the 4, you add one of them to your hand, and the other 3 go back to your deck in the top of the deck in any order. So it's another way to search out your hand traps. So if you open Ash, or Avalon, or Morgan, you show this, and then you excavate your cards, and whichever hand trap you don't have, you add it to your hand. I was actually thinking of playing Evenly Matched with this, but then I realized the deck space was tight, and it's not always that I will lose my entire board and then I can evenly match them. I might try out evenly match later on in the future, but the second effect is what really helps me win games, the graveyard effect. So during the turn, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, I can banish it, special summon a Noble Knight from my deck. That's a different name from the ones I control are in the graveyard. The reason I like this is because I can shuffle back my targets with brothers, or I can banish my Noble Knight monsters with level 5 to bring the Dragon Ruler to bring it back. So this card is literally live anytime, and just special summon a Noble Knight on their end phase or on my turn, and just go off from there.
Sick.
It's ridiculous.
All right, man. Okay. That's the spice, eh?
Yeah, that's the spice. The side deck, I played 3 Twin Twisters, obviously for the rogue matchup like True Draco, Ultrageist, Paleo sometimes. One torrential. I was thinking of running 2 of this, but I might just cut it completely because Thunder Dragons can have protection immunity. It's only good against like Burning Abyss, maybe True Draco sometimes, but otherwise it's just like a dead card. I was also siding in 2 Mind Crush, which I never sided because I didn't play against any heavy decks that search, and even when I did, I would not have any space to set it. It would just clog in my back row. But the MVP of my side deck was Dimensional Barrier because it literally stops Thunder Dragons, Invoke Mech Knights, you know, anything that relies on the old mechanics. Even against like Burning Abyss, I see them summon Phoenix Rhino, I see them special, flip this, call XYZ, and they're done for the turn. All they can do is link summon it, that's it. The other card I actually did side simply because of Sky Strikers was Curse Seal. I only resolved it once.
You hit engage?
You always hit engage. Unless they multi-roll and then engage, then it's it. That's it. But if they don't multi-roll and then engage, that's it. They lose because they can't engage anymore. They literally have to rely on Shizuku to basically search, and Kagari just, you know, recycle it back. Nice. And obviously Red Reboot for the Ultra Guys Paleo and True Draco matchup. I play 2 of the rank 5s. He's basically, he just pops a monster on the field by detaching material. But the reason I run this card is good. If I if I make him using the level 5, you can't respond to it at all. You can't negate the summon, you can't, you know, Veiler it, you can't Ghost over anything. So he will resolve completely, re-equipping 3. And another thing a lot of people didn't pick up on is, if he's sent from the field to the grave, I just float into another Noble Knight from the grave, level 4 or higher. So if they kaiju this, I still get something back. One game, my opponent Boro loaded this, so I'm like, hey. So next turn, I brought back the Dark Noble Knight, and I equipped Guinevere. I attacked his Boro load, and I used Guinevere's effect to just destroy the Boro load. And then on the end phase, this left, I got a Noble Knight back, and all the equips fell off, and just re-equips the Dark one. I still ended up winning against it. And even when they kaiju me, I still win. I played 2 of this guy. He's basically the Harpy's Feather Duster, and he doesn't target. So depending on how many Noble Arms I control, I detach one and destroy that many.
You good?
This card is also good because it literally outs Thunder Dragon Colossus. Because they can't, if you try to destroy them by battle or card effect, they'll just banish to protect it. This card bounces them back. It targets, but it bounces them back. So I can use 2 or more Noble Knight monsters to make him, 2 or more level 4s, and I can detach that many materials and bounce that many cards back. Good. His other effect is ridiculous because if he's destroyed by battle or card effects and sent to the graveyard, he'll just float into either this or this.
And then the equip spells will equip back to him.
Exactly, and they'll equip to him, and he'll just float into another guy. So it's ridiculous because they have 2 floaters now instead of 1. I'm also playing the generic rank 4s, which are Evil Storm Exciton Knight, Red Reboot, and then board wipe them if you can't make the rank 4. I'm playing this as well because if I summon Madrat and I open the last chapter, I make Diamond Direwolf to get rid of a card, and then I activate last chapter because I have nothing on the board. Make Madrat again and just use the effect because Madrat's a soft once per turn, not hard once per turn. I play 1 Giant Hand. It's good to just stop, you know, any generic monsters because it doesn't have to be a special summon monster. Anytime a monster effect activates, I just detach 2, negates the effects permanently, and they can't change the battle position. So sometimes it just comes in handy. And then I play 1 Tornado Dragon as an alternative. Play 1 Isolde because you can just recycle it back with Brothers or, you know, Heritage and just put it back in your extra deck. 1 Summon Sorcerers for the whole Wombo combo. The only Nightmare I play, I don't play Phoenix or Cerberus because I didn't have room for it, so I only played Unicorn just to spin something back. I never made this, I just had it just in case I like bricked and I just needed, you know, a way to just dig into something and go off. And last but not least, the self-explanatory Boral Sword that literally wins you games against any matchup.
Alright, awesome. T-Sauce, thank you so much for this amazing deck profile. Do you have any other words before we sign off?
Yeah, if you want, I can like show you like the basic combo and then I can go from there. So the basic combo is basically if you open Madrat and any Noble Arms, let's say for example you open this, you activate the effect of Madrat, you special summon Boars, destroy this, equips the Boars, use Boars effect, and you show them these 3. A lot of the times I want them to give me this, so if they give me this, I go plus, because now I can just link summon into Isolde. I use Isolde to grab another Madrat, and then use the second effect of Isolde. I can send 5 equips because I run different names. And usually I summon off this guy with Isolde, use these 2 to make summon Sorceress.
But like, there's no restrictions that you only make.
Noble Knight Brothers has that restriction.
That's it.
But only for the rest of the turn. So I can special summon and then normal summon Brothers if I wanted to, and then I'm locked out of there. Same with the other Noble Knight, the one that gives you the double summon, Noble Knight Customized.
Okay, so you summon Sorceress.
I summon Sorceress, and then I use the effect of him to banish mid-draw and Boars from the grave. Special him, use summon Sorcerer's effect, targeting him, and I special out the level 5 guy. And from there, I just overlay, and I make him, and I just re-equip 3 from the grave, and I set this. And I still have 3 other cards I can play with. I usually just flip it on their standby phase. And then if I equip Guinevere, I show them 4 and I add 1. So if I get a hand trap, I add the hand trap and then I put the other 3 back into my deck and then I let them go.
So
and
right
then
now, this will have 3 equips, right? So we'll have usually...
I can technically put 4 if Guinevere is in the graveyard as well. So I equip 3 from the grave, and if I want to, I can put Guinevere on him as well.
And which 3 do you usually equip with?
I usually equip him with this, and this. Or sometimes I would put Gallatin on him. Like, if I'm playing against dinosaurs, I'm not gonna put this, because they can just Conductor and get rid of it. So normally, if I'm playing dinosaurs, I'd use these 3. But anything else, like True Draco, Peleus, I'd always put these 3, because I want to gain life points. Gain 500, and then I'll just equip Guinevere, and he basically becomes a 3k beater that can be targeted, that can be destroyed. And if he were to be destroyed, I'll just, you know, just use the... use either this or use Guinevere to protect him, and he'll survive. And if he dies, he'll just float into another guy.
Okay, awesome. T-Sauce.
And yeah, that's usually the basic combo. The one thing I did realize is if you misplay with this deck even once, you'll lose, because there's so much thinking required with this. And the reason I played this deck instead of Spirals is because a lot of people know how to side against Spirals. It's so basic, it's 2-card combo. With this deck, they didn't know how to side against it. Spell Shattering Arrow may hurt it, but they all re-equip. The only thing that would really hurt this deck is Topologic Trisbania and Evenly Mash, but if I had the hand trap, I'm not gonna let Evenly Mash resolve.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Kaijus didn't really hurt me because I would just float into something. Same with Borreload. Like, the reason I won a lot of my games is because of this, because people forget that I can just re-equip from the graveyard and just keep going. This card is ridiculous. Like, I was thinking of running 2 or maybe siding the second one, because if they call by the Gravis, I lose my 1-card combo. But other than that, this deck has potential to be sort of rogue, but not really. It does lose to Nat Beast first turn, unless I open the Guinevere and then just, you know, kill them with it.
Right.
Not once did I play against the Thunder Dragon. My worst matchup today, this weekend, was Peleos, simply because I red rebooted and I lost in time. One of my hardest matchups was True Dracos, because we were grinding, and he literally beat me in time because he sharked me and just said enter battle phase as soon as the judge came around. And I literally said I didn't hear you say it, and the judge sided with him, and I was like, whatever. Okay, I was over it. I was this close to winning it, but it's fine.
It's all good, T-Sauce. Thank you so much for this deck.
It happened, man.
Yeah. This is your boy Sam from T-Sauce and signing out. All right, guys. Peace.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a key with it. Like, no, this league business.